What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited. It's been a while since I've been here. We're at the Blackstone Labs gym, and I am here with former president of Blackstone Labs, PJ Braun, who I've not trained with in, my God, like years. Yeah. It's been a while.
Well, we know it's been at least a couple years because I've been in prison, so.
Right. So he's gonna go through a shoulder workout with me. My shoulder's been messed up, you guys know that, for a really, really long time, which is why I'm not competing right now. So I'm excited for this. He's gonna train, we were just talking about it, in like all different ways that is not like normal, quote unquote normal. So I'm excited to get into it. Are you excited?
Very excited. I have chronically bad shoulder injuries. I honestly wish that my shoulders looked like your shoulders. But I have a good friend that is a doctor of sports medicine that wanted me to try some new exercises that EMG studies show actually stimulate the muscles in a better way than what I have been doing, the more traditional stuff. So I encourage you guys after this to try out the stuff that we go over today.
All right, let's do it.
So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start from the back and work our way forward. I always like to do that for shoulders anyway. You know, so even with my traditional or old school exercises, I go posterior, medial, and then to the front, because most people just press right away. Mm-hmm. I find that if you stimulate the other heads of the shoulder first, you get more carryover. Also, you're thoroughly warmed up and it cuts down the risk of injury, which is how a lot of people get themselves into these predicaments anyway. So the first one is a posterior delt exercise. Now, a lot of people have been trained to do, you know, your bent over flies, whether you're out here or coming back here like this. So in this technique, you're actually going to relax your shoulders, slightly let them hang forward like this. And you're gonna actually rotate your pinky all the way out. But what I want you to be mindful of is you're rotating from the joint itself, right? So you're internally rotating like this. So even right here, I can actually feel my posterior delts already starting to engage. And from here, with our elbows locked, we're gonna come straight out like this. And it's tricky and unnatural for me working around all these injuries, but even with this light weight, I can really feel it. So you want to be mindful of your pinky coming out and away from your body.
Okay.
Out and away from your body.
Okay.
Not to the side, not to the front, just straight out. Yep, just like that. But you're really, really rotating forward like that. Yep.
Okay.
We'll start out light.
So weird, I'm like grabbing 5-pound dumbbells.
Yeah, because I want you to feel it first before we start just moving away.
So I'm here.
Yep.
Pinkies. Mm-hmm. And here?
Yep. And I would say lean forward just a tiny little bit more and try to concentrate right here real hard. Yeah. And you actually look like you could probably even internally rotate even a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. See, just doing that, you see how much more like everything just started popping out right there?
Yeah.
So we know that it's engaged.
And my left arm is actually shaking.
Yeah. Because we're really, really trying to isolate just these little pieces in here. And by coming out farther away, we want to disengage the traps from shoving the weight up. If we start coming too close with it, the traps are going to engage a lot. That looks great. I mean, you can see all the striations in your shoulders already. So I like to train more of like a progressive overload style. So I never just pick a weight and say, oh, I'm going to do this 10 times. But what I try to do is fail somewhere in like a 10 to 15 rep range. So if I start out and 15 is really easy, I'll just keep on going for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I know, okay, I got to go higher on the next one. But if I pick a weight where I'm starting to get sloppy and I can't get 10, then I back off. But the idea is to work up to that. Okay. I don't really believe in failure training where somebody is moving their weight for you. That's become very popular. Okay. These 2 sets till failure, resting, pausing, having somebody else do it. To me, failure is when I can't complete a rep on my own without really using body English. To me, that's when I stop. So there's a lot of debate on which way is right. I actually like to train. So I would rather do more sets and be in here than, I'm just going to do 2 crazy sets and be out in a fast amount of time. That's not mentally satisfying for me either.
Yeah, so that makes sense. All right.
So remember, arms fully straight, come out.
That weight actually feels a lot better.
I mean, your shoulders look amazing.
And I feel so tiny.
Looks good.
I see what you mean by rotating even more.
Yep. The more you can get it, the more you'll be able to engage that little posterior head back there. I mean, your shoulders are really lean, so you can see all the fibers popping out. It's cool.
Yeah, that felt a lot better than the 5s.
You know, I have such chronic injuries that I do a lot of stuff like, somebody sent me this chaos ball, right? So before I train,
It looks deflated.
even it's got water in it. So even to just for everything I do all sorts of rotations, everything, because if I don't do all that, simple motions are like crack, snap, pop, pop, like the whole time. So I come in 20, 30 minutes early and I do all sorts of, I have the time to do it.
Right.
Now, I wish that when I was younger, I took more time to do a lot of the stuff that we're gonna do today, because I would just go in and be like, how heavy am I gonna press today?
Right.
And I beat myself up real bad, and I believe that's why I have a lot of the injuries that I have. We're gonna do 4 sets of these.
Okay.
Yeah, your shoulders look crazy. I would kill to have shoulders like that.
Body dysmorphia, right?
Yeah.
I know, and they're so small compared to what they used to be.
See, it's how I am. People, for me too, because the rest of me has stayed kind of big. So for years on my videos, the comments are, oh, you got to do more shoulders, you got to do more laterals. I'm like, man, go look at old pictures of me and my shoulders were enormous. It's just all the atrophy from the injuries and everything else.
It's funny, I actually watching myself do this, it looks like the front is disengaged.
I mean,
And
you
the back is-
you can tell that you're powerful because you have really developed anterior delts anyway, which
Yeah.
is, honestly, it's even better for you to be training like this anyway, because I would want everything else to be fatigued before you get to the presses.
Right.
That way now your anterior delt's really doing what you want it to do, and everything else is going to keep on carrying over, because
Right.
if you fry those, your anterior delts are probably so strong that if you fry them out, it probably takes away from the rest of your workout.
Right.
So by putting them in towards the end, I think overall development, you'll see more roundness and cap come out. So when we look into the different parts of the muscle, anterior, like if you look up the Latin origins for these words, anterior is front, medial is middle, and posterior is the back. And so, it's like in your legs, you've got your anterior tibialis, it's the muscle in the front of the bone versus your posterior. So when we do shoulders, I really like the shoulder is a very delicate area. So to hit these individual heads and really focus on building them, it will give so much more of a 3D rounder popping look to the shoulder. Because
Right.
when you have a very developed posterior delt, it makes your waist look smaller, it makes you look way broader in the shoulders. Most people develop the anterior delt in the front very easily because it's involved in so many motions, all your pressing motions, even moving around all day, you're stimulating this a lot.
Right.
So by focusing on building these areas out first, you really complete that look. And I've never really seen anybody that had too big of posterior delts, but you see people that are too developed here and
Right.
they kind of look like this.
Especially my whole life, I'm a presser. So we press I press as heavy as I can for everything. So now I could totally see that being why I'm so developed in the front.
And if you train like this anyway for a while and you build this strength up, when you switch over to a day where you press first, you're going to be considerably stronger at that point.
Okay.
Because you've developed all these ancillary groups around it for stabilization.
Yeah.
Just do one more of these.
Yep.
Good.
The first set definitely felt weird. It doesn't feel as weird now.
Yeah, it looks good. Just try to keep your arms as straight as possible. Yep. There you go. Good. All right, now we're gonna move on to the medial delt, the middle head, right? So you'll probably be around the same strength here. I find this one to actually be a lot more awkward. But my first time doing it last week, I was very, very sore afterwards. So normally, most people you see when they do their lateral raises, they start either by their sides or in front of themselves, and it's kind of like you come out like this. So what we're gonna do here to really stimulate this medial head is, first thing you're gonna do, lock your posture in, lift your chest up, and you're actually gonna flare your lats out, right? So once you get your lats flared, where your arms sit on your lats, there's already tension here now on the medial delt, just holding it here. So we're gonna start here in this already tense position, thumbs all the way out, and we're gonna come out like this, not totally perpendicular.
No, you look like you're a little bit in front.
You're actually just a little bit in front. And you're gonna come back down to where you feel it start to touch your lats again, and then back up again. So it's constant tension like this, right on the medial head.
So there's no rest?
No rest.
Okay.
You're gonna feel it a lot because these exercises that we do, these lateral exercises, there is a lot of trap involved and rotator cuff also. And I used to try to do them more advanced. Actually, my buddy who's a doctor, he would have his students, he's a professor, lay on their side and do them. And he was like, great exercise, but still a lot of rotator cuff. So this is a more advanced thing to add in now to try to see if you can stimulate that medial head growth more, which I think you're gonna feel it a lot. So first thing you're gonna do is
okay, so don't laugh, but I have a really hard time figuring out how to flare my
okay. You basically are just gonna, like, if you're slouched like this, you're exaggerating your posture up to like make yourself as wide as possible.
Okay,
yep.
I think I see it. Okay.
Yep. So then you go from there out like this. Yep. But as soon as you start to feel your lats touching in here, come back up again. And come up a little higher. There you go.
Oh, okay, I feel that.
So this left arm you're really rotating out. I would keep it right there.
Okay.
There you go. And now, honestly, you can see right here, really, really firing out.
Yeah, I do see that.
Yep.
Now that you said that.
Same thing with these two, we want to go in like a 10 to 15 failure range. So if you're getting to 15 and you feel like you can keep going, then I would say let's try a little bit more weight. We don't want to go so heavy that you have to shrug it up because that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
Strength
you could see that.
come.
You could see that head pop out. I don't think I ever noticed that before.
Yeah, I was like, I'll tell you what, like when I finished that workout, I felt really good. I felt like there was a lot of blood in there. And then that night I was like, damn, I'm really sore.
Okay.
Like I must have not been hitting that area. I mean, obviously I've lost a lot of mass in there, but I was very surprised because I don't get sore the same way. You're gonna get sore when you do something different anyway, but I was like, damn, I'm really sore. So.
It's weird, and I do lateral raises, but not, I mean, obviously not like this.
Yeah.
But these are actually, 10 pounds. They're fatiguing.
Yeah, no, I do seated laterals, standing laterals. Sometimes I'll do one arm at a time, strict with dumbbells.
I'm usually like 15 pounds to 20 pounds. Like, it hurts, but I just kind of push through. This feels.
It's tough. And I'm like at least 50% weaker doing it like this also.
Okay, so
get those lats flared out, lift the chest up high. Yep.
Okay, so here.
Now rotate out like this.
Okay.
And come up. Like you're going like this with your thumbs, basically. Yep.
It's weird not resting too.
It's tough. You keep that constant tension on there. And it's really cool to see when somebody's really lean like you, the science being put to work visually, because this changing of positioning, everything looks totally different now than when you were all the way forward in the posterior delt. Now you can actually really see between the anterior and medial delt how much action is going on. It's really cool. It's actually a privilege for me to be able to see that today. I'm not lean enough to see that on myself yet. That looks awesome.
Much more on like the fourth set. Like I saw it on the first, but I see a lot more now. My clients are gonna hate me.
It's crazy that a little thing like this can burn so bad, but.
Yeah.
So now, no injuries at all. I would say definitely try it with a free weight with a barbell. Injuries and learning how to do it for the first time, I think Smith machine is ideal. So the anterior delt, its primary function really is lifting your arm over your head like this, right? So all of the pressing that we do, military presses, dumbbell presses, we're actually completely shortening that motion. And now there's a lot of risk of internal, external rotation, which a lot of injuries come from. So this variation of this press, we're gonna press here on the Smith machine from here. So the anterior delt is in a full stretch all the way up.
Okay.
That's a much farther, but also a safer range of motion. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna line yourself in here. And I just think that the Smith machine, you know, yes, you can try this with a barbell, of course, but while learning the first few times, it's ideal because, you know, you wanna make sure you cut the risk of injury out. So you're gonna hold it pretty close. Okay, and your elbows are gonna stay folded in the whole time. So there's gonna be no flaring of the elbows. We want the elbows to be folded in front of you. Now I typically, just all these years, have stayed away from wrapping my thumbs around the bar, but you know, it's definitely safer to keep your thumbs around the bar. All right, so one of the things that's different about this type of press versus a chest incline press is when I have people doing the chest incline press, I actually want them to really elevate their chest, arch up.
Okay.
This, we're actually gonna avoid that. We're gonna keep the back flat.
Okay, I'm
and
happy
stable
you said
on
that.
here. Firm base, and your elbows are gonna stay in, and you're gonna press up like this. Elbows down, in, down, like this. They stay in front of you, stacked in front of you, and you're gonna feel it the whole way pushing through here in the anterior delt. So,
Almost looks like a hex press.
yeah,
Or you do with both dumbbells, you know what I mean?
It is similar to like when people do landmines, things like that. It's just, and I'm not opposed to the military variation, which is a great way to do it. This is just a safer way to do it.
Okay, so I'm coming down here.
Yep, keep your elbows in as much as you can. You can maybe go a tiny little bit wider if you want, but the key is keeping your elbows tight in like this.
Okay.
Tight in the whole time and up. Yep. So once this feels okay, we'll start throwing some weight on and moving it.
I'm doing that. I'm so used to pushing my chest out.
Yeah.
I could like feel it.
Because once you start incorporating that elevation of your chest, now
Right.
the chest muscles are going to be coming into play more. This actually keeps it loaded on the anterior delt like this.
I think I feel okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It looks good?
Yeah.
All right, let's put a little weight on.
What do you want to try?
I want to say 10s, but is that overzealous?
No, let's do 10 first.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to do 4 sets, so we're going to keep working up. So
Okay, you got it.
elbows, concentrating on keeping them tight, and it's up like this. Yep.
Right about there? It's crazy how bad I want to push my chest out. But I'm happy you said that because I'm
We're
aware
going
of
to keep it
it.
all right on the anterior delt. Good.
It's crazy. It doesn't feel heavy, but I do feel like I'm shaking.
Yeah, you'll be able to move a little more weight on this.
Yeah.
We'll work our way up. And just let those elbows come straight down.
It's like at the top. So Chris just asked a question about locking out. So I'm staying away from locking out, but it's like my triceps want to lock out. There's like my triceps are what's shaking. It's like they want to connect and get involved.
Yeah, you will feel it through the tricep, especially through the outside through here. Not as much in the long head.
Yeah.
Good. 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 Keep going. Good. Keep those elbows in tight. Good. Yep. Good.
Oh my God.
Good.
I definitely felt that one.
Want to try a little more weight? Rest a little bit?
Okay. Do I have to still hit 12?
No.
Okay.
If you can't hit 8, it's too heavy.
Okay. No, I
Eight's usually
should.
like my bottom number. Backed in the whole time. Don't be afraid to, you know, get explosive when you're coming up with it. Good. 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 Come on, go more. Good.
Oh God, okay.
Very good. Really good.
Yeah, it makes a difference when like you stack it.
Yep. If you took a, like, it would be tricky to do with a 45, but like, you know, like the pre-made, like skinnier bars that are shorter, I think would be easier.
Yeah, like a curl bar, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
To do it with free weights like this, because if you don't have shoulder injuries, learning a new exercise, you start light anyway, you should be safe. But for me, like with all the injuries, I want to learn these things and nail them and hit the area without the risk of making anything worse.
Right.
So you're a lot safer on here. And you can really control where your elbows are and stuff on here. You're just working against the machine. So for me, I can feel it a lot. Not saying that I don't feel it with a regular shoulder press, but I feel through that full range of motion a lot more activation like this. So I think by getting used to doing this and you building those areas up, when you play around with other stuff, you'll certainly be stronger in those other exercises. But if we can get more development like this, then why not keep doing this anyway?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, I always just want to learn what's going to be. I see a lot of people kind of creating new exercises in the gym. And for the most part, most of the old school tried and true stuff works the best. But as more science comes and weight training evolves, you learn new ways that may be better. You know?
Right, especially with injuries and stuff, trying to train around it and find those small muscles and build those up, it's going to support all the big stuff.
A lot of people say to me about like the bodybuilding training videos that you see guys now. These guys are monsters, but people will say, oh man, it doesn't seem like these guys train hard like the way that, you know, the guys in the 90s and early 2000s did. But the thing is, perhaps the way that those guys and like my era of guys were training was why we were getting hurt so bad all the time. Because a lot of those great Olympias, these champions, these guys had a lot of bad injuries too. And, you know, I see a lot more of the guys using machines and fancier exercises now. But if they're able to have longevity in the gym and not be having to have surgeries and these other things, then, you know, that just shows the evolution of the science. Really.
Right.
Because I do watch a lot of these guys training, and I'm like, like I'm waiting for them to start gripping and ripping it, like how
and they're just not doing it.
No, it's like everything is really isolated and slow and smooth. I mean, they're moving big weights. These guys are strong. It's just you don't see a lot of the guys, you know, doing the kind of basic ass stuff that you saw like Arnold and Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman doing. But then you know, Arnold is still in great shape, but if you look at Dorian, he had a lot of really bad muscle tears. Ronnie can't even walk. You know, so, you know, it's something to be said about that, you know, on the longevity side of things.
Yeah, and that's what's most important now. One more?
Try this one more time.
All right.
Good. 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 Come on, got more. Keep going. Come on. You got another one. Push, 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 push. Good job. Good. Strong.
I didn't feel very strong.
It's a weird because you're getting used to it, but you're really burying that area, so.